Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going to absolutely demystify the process of getting an apostille for your important Michigan documents. Look, whether you're dealing with birth certificates, marriage licenses, or academic transcripts, navigating international bureaucracy can feel, well, totally overwhelming. But stick with me, because today we're going to make it incredibly clear and simple for you.
So if you're planning to study, work, or even tie the knot overseas, you might be totally stressing out about whether your paperwork will actually be accepted by a foreign government. It's a very real frustration, right? You spend weeks gathering all these vital records, only to have this lingering dread that they might get rejected at the border. Well, the apostille is essentially the magical key to solving this exact problem. It's literally what turns your local papers into internationally recognized documents.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll cover 1. What exactly is an apostille? 2. The Hague Convention connection. 3. Our step-by-step guide for Michigan. 4. Avoiding common pitfalls. And 5. Real-life examples and resources.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, what is an apostille?
The best way to think about it? An apostille is basically a passport for your paperwork. It's a standardized certification, usually just a separate page that's attached directly to your document with a staple, and this very official-looking gold foil embossed seal. But now, here is a super vital distinction. An apostille only verifies the authenticity of the official signature, their capacity to sign, and the seal on the document itself. It actually doesn't certify that the underlying facts of your record are true. It just proves to a foreign government that yes, the Michigan official who signed it was 100% legitimate.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Hague Convention connection.
You know, it's pretty wild to think that a treaty all the way from 1961 is still dictating so much of our international travel and work today. But back then, this international agreement called the Hague Convention abolished the old, incredibly complicated chain of diplomatic legalizations. Today, over 120 participating nations agree to just use the apostille. So if your destination country is a member of the Hague Convention, places like France, Germany, or Japan, a Michigan apostille is all you need. The whole shebang. However, if they are a non-Hague country, they require an authentication certificate instead, which then demands even further legalization at their specific embassy in Washington, D.C. So pro tip right out of the gate, always check your destination country's status first.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty with Section 3, step-by-step in Michigan.
We can break down this whole bureaucratic journey into 5 really simple, actionable phases. Step 1 is gathering your original documents. Step 2 is ensuring they're properly certified or notarized. Step 3 involves filling out the application. Step 4 is submitting everything to the state. And Step 5? Just waiting for your finalized apostille to arrive. Let's look at the specifics of how this actually works.
So for steps 1 and 2, your document absolutely must be signed by an authorized official before the state will even look at it. Acceptable signers for Michigan apostilles include commissioned notaries public, Michigan county clerks, or the state registrar. Interestingly though, if you're getting a document from a city clerk, it's actually only acceptable if they're from Wayne, Oakland, or Macomb counties. Just a little quirk to keep in mind.
Now, the ultimate authority behind this whole process comes directly from the Great Seal of the state of Michigan. Within the state, the Secretary of State has solely authorized the Office of the Great Seal, which is located in Lansing, to perform this authentication function. They are literally the only ones who can legally attach that specific gold foil embossed seal to your document.
Moving on to Step 3, you're going to need to apply using the official authentication request form. Don't worry, it's a very straightforward state document. You'll just fill in your contact information, the number of documents you're submitting, and, this is the most important part, the destination country. The state absolutely needs to know where the document is going so they can determine if an apostille or a standard authentication certificate is the right move for you.
Okay, brace yourselves for this one, because you rarely see numbers like this when it comes to government paperwork. The fee for a Michigan apostille is just $1. No way, right? But yes, it's literally $1 single per document, payable to the state of Michigan by check or money order. It is incredibly affordable, especially compared to a lot of other states, which makes this whole process way less of a financial burden.
Now for Step 4, actually submitting your paperwork. You basically have 2 choices. You can do an in-person walk-in at select Secretary of State offices, which honestly often gets you same-day service. Pretty great. Or you can just submit by mail to the Lansing office. Just keep in mind, if you choose the mail route, expect it to take up to 14 days. And remember, if you do mail it, you absolutely must include a self-addressed, trackable, prepaid return envelope, like from FedEx or UPS. They need that so they can securely send your paperwork passport right back to you.
Moving along, let's jump into Section 4,
Avoiding common pitfalls.
Because let's be real, nothing is worse than getting a rejection letter in the mail. So, here are some empowering pro tips to ensure a completely flawless application. First off, do not submit recorded documents from court clerks or judges. They just cannot be apostilled this way. Second, watch your dates carefully. Certified copies from county clerks have to be less than 15 years old, and records from the state registrar must be less than 12 months old. Third, if your document has any foreign text on it, you must provide a written English translation. And finally, whatever you do, never send cash or credit card numbers by mail. The state simply will not accept them, and it'll just delay your whole process.
Finally, we've arrived at Section 5, Real-Life Examples and Resources. Let's put this into perspective. Imagine a Michigan resident who's moving to France for a study abroad program. First, they spend a day having their school registrar certify their academic transcripts. Over the next couple of days, they have a notary public properly notarize that registrar's signature. Then, they pop the paperwork in the mail to Lansing, and within 14 days, the Office of the Great Seal issues the apostille. By the end of the month, they arrive in France, their documents are fully recognized, and they're totally ready to start their semester. It's a step-by-step flow that actually works beautifully when you follow the rules.
Now, if you ever feel overwhelmed, or maybe you just have a massive stack of complicated corporate documents, don't panic. You can always find official forms and fantastic resources directly at michigan.gov/SOS, or you can reach out to local legal advisors. Alternatively, there are professional apostille expediting services out there that can handle the entire process for you, totally taking the guesswork out of international legalization.
Now, just a quick but super important reminder here. This explainer is designed to be highly educational and give you a comprehensive overview of the whole process. However, as we all know, government rules, fees, and processes can and definitely do change. So always consult official state resources or a legal professional to get personalized advice for your specific situation before you go mailing off your vital records.
And just like that, that brings us to the end of our journey. To quickly recap, secure your original documents, get the right local official to certify them, fill out the application, and submit it to Lansing with your incredibly affordable $1 fee. You know, with our world becoming so heavily digital these days, it is kind of fascinating that crossing borders still relies so heavily on physical paper, ink signatures, and a treaty written all the way back in 1961. Do you think blockchain or digital IDs will eventually replace the apostille altogether? It's definitely something to think about. Until then, though, you have all the knowledge you need to conquer the paperwork. So where are you moving, working, or traveling to that requires an apostille? Let us know down in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more explainers just like this one. Thanks so much for learning with us today, and we'll see you in the next one.